Good afternoon, everybody. Today I want to start out by moving this pile of manure that's right here. So we just got a nice little pile right there. It's kind of in the way of me putting more bales there, lining them up here. I want to get bales, those rows equal with these here, but that pile's in the way. It is supposed to go right there on that pile of manure, but I had to put it here because earlier this spring we got like 4 inches of rain in one shot and it flooded everything back here. It was insane. Water was like all the way up to here, I think, and that's why I just put the manure right there. I could have dumped it in there, but it would have went in the water and I would have had to drive through so much water just to get there. So I figured, you know what, plop it here and I'm gonna deal with that later. Gotta deal with it now. Haven't been putting bales there. I've been starting new rows all the way back there, kind of avoiding this pile. So I'm just gonna get it moved over. We're gonna bring it over there. It is an absolutely awesome September day. I don't think you could ask for a better day. It's a little bit breezy, not too hot, not too cold. It's literally perfect out here today. Started pushing it all. It was a lot easier. I couldn't even grab a full bucket anymore. Just like that, got the pile cleaned up. Now I can finish off those 3 rows that are already started. I was just hesitating cleaning this pile up, just starting a new row, start a new row, start a new row. I hopped in the bale hauler now, ripped out to one of our canola fields, or this field was canola. It's all baled now. It's one perfect quarter of just a nice block, and we're gonna start hauling the bales off here. Canola straw is quite a bit lighter than the barley straw you guys saw me hauling a couple videos ago, and it's a little bit different to haul. It's way lighter on the trailer, and unloading you need to be a lot more careful to not accidentally rip these bales apart with the chains on the wagon. Unloading the first load of canola straw bales here. Usually we'll use this chain and run it backwards, and that's how I push the bales off, and I use that chain to push the tractor forward as well. But since these bales are so much lighter than the other barley bales that we were hauling there earlier last week, the bales aren't heavy enough to push the tractor forward. Instead, the chain kind of just slides underneath them, so I need to really slowly walk the tractor forward. I got to keep enough pressure on these back bales that are coming off. I can't just drive ahead, otherwise I'll get spaces in between the bales and they'll start to roll over. They won't stay in a nice straight line. So it's quite a bit more challenging to unload these lighter bales, but we just need to be a little bit more careful and make sure that it's going right. So this is the second day that I'm hauling these canola bales off this field. I wasn't planning on filming, so I'm just filming on my phone. But we had a bit of a breakdown on the bale hauler here. So in the last video, one of these bolts broke. You guys can see now, all 6 of them broke. It looks like this was welded on. It broke again. and the entire plate which holds up the cylinder there snapped clean off. It's been having issues. It was already welded before, and now it finally gave out again, it looks like. So it looks like what we're gonna do, there's a little safety chain there where I can chain this up. We're gonna bring the loader out here. Dad's gonna bring some chains along, and we're gonna get this arm kind of safetied up. Once we get that pickup arm safety chained up, we'll be able to drive it back to the yard, work on it by the shop. That's gonna be a heck of a lot nicer than doing it all out in the field here. He's more concerned with still getting this wagon fully loaded than getting this arm up. We also had to chain up that cylinder there and the bracket just so that it wasn't hanging on the hydraulic hoses. Ripping back to the yard now, we're gonna have to do some welding and put some new bolts in there. Those are all the bolts that I found on the ground, a bunch of snapped in half ones. No good, no bueno guys, no bueno. Just going back to the yard super slow, not breaking any land speed records here. Don't want to shake the chain too much, knock it off, break the cylinder even more. So, well, we made it back to the shop now. Just show you guys, I don't know if I showed you this in the field, but this is the safety chain. It's meant so that when you park it or transport it super long distance, it's not going to seep down on you when you're in transporting or transport mode, you know, heading down the highway. And then we just chained this thing up like that, stayed there the entire way home. So hopefully that lasts. Now we're going to need to use the loader to push this arm up again so that we can get this safety off. There's a different cylinder on here from the original one, which doesn't quite lift the arm up high enough to get this safety off. So he's coming, he's going to push it up for us, and then we'll be able to take that off. Awesome. So that is the first load after fixing that arm, and it's working as good as ever. It's kind of a miserable, drizzly type of day out today. We're gonna move some calves outside. The back two group pens in this group pen barn are gonna be moved outside to the corrals, and then these two are gonna be moved into those pens. They're getting a bit older, we'll move them over. And then from the barn beside this barn, there's gonna be a whole room emptied out and put into these two group pens. We're gonna be doing something a little bit different today. Typically we will put the heifers and the steers, all of them into corral 1. And then from there, as they are older, been in there for 3 months or something, we'll move them out and separate them. But we're gonna separate them straight out of this barn now. And we're gonna take all the steer calves from these pens and put them straight into corral 4, which is our grower steer pens, and this way they can go right away on the full grower feed. And we had a guy out here and said, why don't you do that? Take a little bit of stress maybe off of those heifers, give them a little bit more room in corral 1. And we were like, yeah, it's a pretty good idea. So we're gonna be trying that today. Just putting these steer calves straight into pen 4. Just in the breeding heifer pen, there's a little steer calf. He jumped through and got in here. Hey. Little bugger. Just trying to get in with the ladies. The little steer calf that was in with these heifers here probably just jumped through this water bowl slot. Bit of a tight fit, but I guess he really wants to get in there. We also dumped all the calves out of corral 1, took all the steers out. Now this pen is going to only be 100% heifers. They're coming back right now. Now we're going to take the calves out of the barn. Buggers. Now we're just sorting out the ones that came out of the barn, heifers and steers. These are the steers. And then we're just still sorting them out over there. All right, so we got 3 pens of calves out here, 2 steer pens. These are from corral 1, so they've already been outside for a while. These are out of the reno barn. They were group pens. We separated them from the heifers in the far pen there, which were also from the barn. So these are the heifers out of the barn. Now we're gonna run all 3 of these groups through the chute there. We're gonna give them some vaccines, make sure they don't get sick this winter. One thing I gotta do before we start sending those calves through is we wanna tighten this chute up, this alleyway, kind of squeeze it in a little bit because it's pretty wide. If you start sending all these little calves through the chute here, they're gonna start turning and they'll some be backwards. You can't really put them through the chute when they're backwards. So we can actually squeeze this chute and the alley down. There's a bunch of adjustable sections here. We just gotta take the pins out. And then I believe I lift, and that's gonna squeeze the alley right down. So now they're not going to be able to turn around. It's pretty narrow in there. They'll just slide right up. You can see it's not perfectly lined up with the chute, so we're just going to squeeze the chute a little bit. Now, and this is a squeeze chute, so I got this lever here. Squeezes the chute in, makes it skinnier for them. Now it's also lined up quite a bit better. So now we're going to run the first group of little calves through. Get the tub ready for them. So we're going to take these steers first. Okay, come on, little buddies. Yeah, come on, dudes. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, come on, dude. First batch of dudes are in the tub. Now we'll just feed them up the alley.
Leave them all in the chute, right?
Yeah. So these are all the steers from the barn and pen 1, and now they're all going into the corral 4, which is just right over there. I just got to get past them there to open that gate. They're pretty tight. I don't want to push through. Hey. Hey. There we go. Hey, 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 hey. Hey. Hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. Last one. Ooh. These two steers were in that heifer pen, so those are the second and third steers we're taking out of heifer pens today. These boys are being naughty out here, that's for sure. So a couple bars came loose there. Put a temporary fence there, that's how they got in there. So it looks like there was like 6 or 7 steers, maybe even 10, that were mixed in with the heifers, just because some bars came loose in there. We'll get those bars fixed up. Can't have this, it's way too many. They're not going to breed them, obviously. They're lacking a little bit of equipment for that. But you don't want to see these guys in the heifer pen. So now the little baby girls are going into pen 1. Idea behind taking the steers out of here completely, just less competition, less crowding, less competition at the feed bunks, so that anyone who wants to get feed can get feed. If the corral is overcrowded, there's going to be some calves that maybe won't be able to get to feed when they want it, and that's going to hold them back a little bit. We just want to make it as easy as possible for every single heifer calf to succeed in pen 1 here, and there's plenty of room in corral 4 for all those steer calves, so I figured we just keep them separate now. Gonna grab this thing, put some pallet forks on there, grab a bale, and bed up the front and the back of that reno barn. First gonna do the one side of the barn that we just took the calves out, bed that, get it nice and ready. Then we're gonna move the calves that are still in there onto the bigger pens there, and then we're gonna bed the other side of that reno barn. Found a barley straw bale, it's exactly what we want. Nice. Just gonna lift it nice and high, and then I can see where I'm driving still. Now outside's bedded. I'm gonna take these calves and put them over there. Hey, hey, hey. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. So with the crossover here, it's concrete. We just spread a bunch of straw over there because the calves, they hesitate to walk on the concrete. And if you cover it up, make them think it's not there, they'll just run right across. So apparently when I ripped out of the calf barn here, bedding the front, I tracked a whole lot of straw with me. Gonna rake this up. A bit better. So this afternoon we're probably going to take that far room there out of this calf barn and move those calves into here, and then we'll have to clean that room out, but that'll be another day. All right, we're going to move the calves out of that individual group pen barn now, grabbing the New Holland loader. We're going to leave this bucket here, so we're going to unhook the hydraulic hoses again. Thing's fun to drive around with. That's the one load. Now they're all moved over. It's quite a bit bigger pen, but they're a lot bigger calves now from when they were first born. It's the endless cycle of moving calves from that calf barn where they first go when they're first born to then this barn, then corral 1, then corral 3, then corral 2, 6 and 7, and then into the cow barn. That's the calf's life, coming into a milk cow. And the steers, of course, they're moving quite a bit too, especially when they're younger. It's constant cycling these cows through these barns, getting them good, healthy, strong milk cows. So that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. Check out the Instagram at SaskDutchKid, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.